I want to say to all seditions, this is your time. This is our time. Amanda!
We want every Liberian to look like a Liberian that is proud. People used to respect this country. This time, people don't respect us.
This is a defining moment for over 5.2 million people in Liberia.
We've been through a lot, and we're not going back to the war years. Neither are we going back to another round of instability.
Africa's oldest republic, Liberia, is heading for a presidential runoff. On the 14th of November, Liberians will be choosing between current President George Weah and opposition leader Joseph Boakai. In the first round of the elections on October the 10th, Weah, from the Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, gained 43.8% of the votes, while Boakai of the Unity Party, UP, garnered 43.4%. That's not enough to avoid a presidential runoff because the electoral law requires a candidate to secure more than 50% of the total votes cast to be declared a winner in the first round. 20 candidates took part in the first round of the presidential election, but the runoff is between the top two. This time, victory is decided by a simple majority. This is Liberia's closest presidential race since the country's civil war ended 2 decades ago. It was also the first election to be fully organized by Liberia without financial support from international partners since 2003.
At the moment, the political atmosphere in our country is tense, is charged, but polarized. The people, the masses, are resolved about charting their own course.
About 78.86% of the 2.4 million eligible voters turned up for the October election. That was unprecedented. The runoff is expected to be another fierce contest between the two long-standing political rivals. They had contested in the 2017 election, with George Weah defeating Boakai. Now, Weah, a former international football star, is seeking a second term.
But in 2017, all of you voted for me. And that's why I did not make you shame. And I will never make you shame.
George Weah is popularly known to be a football icon, one who plays soccer in Europe and around the world. He's popularly known also as a native of the land, of course, like Boakai himself. And he has a great root and connection with the young people. So as a result of that, more people see him to be someone who, according to most of the responses that we get, that he is a unifier, he is connected with the young generation. As a result of that, he was chosen.
57-year-old Weah represents a generation of Liberians that lived through the Civil War. He was 23 when the war broke out, a war that killed nearly 250,000 people. With roots in an underprivileged community, many Liberians who felt let down by the established political order associated themselves with Weah's life successes.
I had to suffer. In my generation, there was no free education. And then they tag us that we don't know nothing, we don't have experience. But see, for me, experience is not a teacher. History is a teacher.
However, 6 years later, some say they are disappointed, saying he has failed to deliver on his campaign promises. His supporters, however, say he inherited an ailing economy and a depreciating currency. Under Weah's predecessor, President Ellen Sirleaf, Africa's first female president, Liberia was highly reliant on foreign aid. However, by the end of her tenure, much of the aid had run out, and the UN mission, which had helped in the country's recovery for more than a decade, began to leave in March 2018.
It is a very poor excuse to argue that because the United Nations mission in Liberia, UNMIL, has left the country, so you are unable to perform.
Our mission is to change your living standard, to make you feel better, to make you feel that you belong.
78-year-old Joseph Boakai has been a key figure in Liberia's politics for almost 4 decades. He served as vice president from 2006 to 2018.
Boakai is of the origin, so he's served his entire life in national political leadership. So he comes to this role with, background in public service.
Boakai has promised to restore the country's image, develop infrastructure, and improve the lives of the most disadvantaged.
I am saying that we are here because we are interested in you.
But these promises are not new to Liberians. So what are the issues Liberians want addressed as the country goes for elections? The economy remains the principal issue for voters, with frustration soaring around the cost of living. According to the World Food Programme, an estimated 64% of people in Liberia live below the poverty line, and 1.3 million of those live in extreme poverty. Corruption is also a major issue for Liberians, and it has been for a long time.
Corruption is being reported high, official corruption, and it has been marked by the culture of impunity, that nobody has been held accountable.
Youth unemployment and drug abuse are also big issues in the West African country. According to the United Nations Population Fund in 2022, 2 in 10 youths in Liberia use narcotic substances. This year marks 20 years since the end of Liberia's civil war. The country is still trying to move on and heal the scars of the war. Many are concerned about the failure to establish tribunals to try individuals accused of war crimes, as recommended by Liberia's Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
We recognize what happened. We recognize that there were lots of, human rights abuses. We recognize that there were loss of lives, loss of property and everything, and we are apologizing. The state has never, the previous government and this government.
Liberians head to the polls looking for a leader that will address these key priorities.
It is about who can get the job done. It is about who has the integrity. It is about who will provide responsible leadership for the people.